Here.
Van Zant,
Here.
Hopper,
Here.
Webb.
Here. I believe we have a quorum this time. Cheryl, will you lead us in a prayer?
No, I'm Baptist and we don't do that in a mixed company.
Okay. Okay. Heavenly Father, please bless this meeting, give us wisdom and give us strength. Thank you. Amen.
Thanks for the offer though.
I will every time. At this time, we have the consent agenda. Is there any items anybody wishes to have pulled out of the consent agenda to ask questions or statements?
Item 4, the quality report.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that we approve items 1 through 3 and items 5, 6, and 7.
I'll second the motion.
If we could call for a vote at this time, please.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes. Okay, moving on to item number 4 on the consent agenda, the Quality and Patient Safety Committee meeting. Do we have any questions?
Okay. I'm gonna need a little bit of explanation. Cause as I go through and look at that, I can't match the stuff up.
Okay.
Like I see on one report, there are no grievances. I see on another, there are one. And I just need to know, are we behind on, what's going on? Are we a month behind? Are we 2 months behind? I mean, I don't.
The meeting minutes that you're reviewing are a month behind. The meeting minutes that you're looking at.
You're talking about the medical staff minutes?
Yes.
Okay.
So she's reporting a medical staff in current quality that we reported, but they
Good.
those minutes haven't went through quality meeting for those minutes to be presented to y'all, for all of us to say those are appropriate.
So, let me see, I guess on this month, we have down no grievances, just, or under risk management, we don't have any.
Correct.
Okay, so then that means that next month, we shouldn't find something on those, medical staff reports then.
On the medical staff, so what the medical staff is reporting this month, you will see on the quality minutes this next month.
Okay, so if I went back to last time, then it would, where does it show all these that last month? Where would they actually appear before we look at them for last month's agenda? All that massive amount of 6 of them.
The 6,
Yeah, they were under the risk management and different things, where there's a grievance and a lot of different things. Were those reported in the med staff, what
Last
month?
month.
Last month?
yes, in those meeting minutes, because that's a verbal report she's giving in medical
Mhm.
staff, so it's real time. It's a real-time report from the previous
But
month.
then, so her quality or not then?
The quality minutes you're reviewing currently are not real-time, no.
They're a month behind.
They're a month behind.
Okay, there we go, that's
Yeah,
what
the
I was
medical staff
off.
is more of a real-time verbal report.
That's what I was thinking.
Yes.
'Cause
The
I
quality
saw-
is a month behind that.
Okay, because I saw that and then I saw 0 and I'm thinking, these aren't matching up somehow.
That's why it's not matching up.
So we should see then next month, under risk management, we should see those
Yes.
grievances.
Correct.
Okay. Because that is very hard to follow, because if
It
we're
is.
so off, we have all these grievances, they pile up, well, then we're not seeing them till the next month, and there's really no correction to anything, or trying to get something changed, whether that be the attitude, the policy, whatever it is. I mean, it's such a delay that,
On the quality, it is a delay. Again, this is more of a verbal report, so it's more up to date.
Okay.
If you look at the medical staff.
gotcha. Well, that's what I needed explained.
Okay, not a problem. And again, if there's ever something you want to pull out, I did talk with Chi, and that is covered under executive session. If we want to move those and discuss complaints and grievances under executive session, we can do that.
Well, quite honestly, I believe those need to be pulled every time, because in the grand scheme of things, when it's all said and done, this bunch may be held responsible for things we don't even know, or things that happened and weren't talked about,
Okay, we
just
can put
because it weren't
we-
referenced, so
We can put it underneath there from now on, absolutely, in executive session.
that will, I think that'll be great.
Okay, we'll do that.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the quality report under the consent agenda at this time.
I'll second that.
We could call for a vote, please.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Do we have any remarks or inquiries by audience members not pertaining to any items on the agenda? Okay, moving on to item number 8, the financial report for March of 2025.
Okay, I'm gonna go over the March financial summary, that first page in the packet. Okay. The March average daily census was 6.81. That was down 4 days from February and down 3 from the year-to-date monthly average. The acute payer mix for March is 80% for Medicare and Medicare managed care, with the prior month being 72%, and it's also up from the 2024 monthly average of 77%. Swing bed payer mix for March was 92% for Medicare and 8% for Medicare managed care. The operating margin is a loss of $49,000, which is up $7,000 from the 2024 monthly average and up $23,000 from February. The net patient revenue was $1.3 million for the month, which was only a little over $1,000 difference from last month and a decrease of $56,000 from the 2024 monthly average. 340B revenue was $23,000 for the month. Expenses were $19,000, so we made a profit about $4,000 for 340B in March. Operating expenses were at $1.4 million for March. That's down $55,000 from the 2024 monthly average and $12,000 from February. Patient days for March were at 211, which is down 82 days from February. Cash receipts for the month were at $1.29 million. This is an increase of $34,000 from the 2024 monthly average and an increase of $105,000 from February. Cash disbursements were at $1.25 million for the month. Cash balance at the March month end was $520,000, giving us about 11.4 days of cash on hand. The 2024 average was 8.7, so we had about 3 more days of cash on hand this month than the average. For the clinic, the average visits were 8.5. Year-to-date revenue for the clinic is $124,000. Operating expenses are at $257,000, with the year-to-date net loss of $133,000 as of March. And that is what I have. You guys want to go over anything else?
As soon as we launch the new program,
Mm-hmm.
is there a way to have like we do the clinic, an actual itemization for that?
Absolutely.
For Strong Minds, to where we say, okay, we've got the car, we've got the
Yes.
insurance,
Yep.
any other expenditures
Yes.
on there, and to see what we're bringing in.
Yep.
The program is actually up and running. We're
Really?
just waiting on referrals.
Great.
That's all the program is ready to run, ready to start, yep.
Amazing.
The van was the last piece we needed. We're gonna utilize techs, CNAs currently until we get somebody hired. We do have some people that are interested in being the client tech, again, they gotta drive go pick the patient up, take them home, and then help in the program, do different things. So we do have some applicants for that. We've been doing interviews this week. But until we get them brought on, oriented, we're gonna use our CNAs in the hospital to assist in that. And Nick and I will be driving until we get somebody full-time hired.
And you said we're waiting.
And Carson, one of the things we can also do throughout, and we measure this as well, is we can see what the cost report and reimbursement would have been after certain periods of time, even the first year or 8 months, and compare it to what it would have been without it. And we take the difference in the reimbursement less the additional cost to find out what the benefit was. So we can measure
Cool.
the economic benefits specifically of this program.
That'd be awesome. Yeah, I guess that's really more what I'm interested in, is seeing what the economic benefit is. And then like, what is our cost per patient? What is our revenue per patient for the Strong Minds program itself.
You mentioned waiting on the referral process, and I know we may have talked about this, but I'll be honest, I don't recall.
That's okay.
Who are we waiting, is that the doctors?
The doctors just to send, hey, again, it's, some of the education process that I ran into this week was one of the providers was like, well, I've gotta see the patient first because I gotta have a diagnosis before I can refer them to you. No, that's what the psychiatrist is gonna do.
Okay.
You just send somebody that you think would be a good fit for the program. She'll do the evaluation and determine if there's a diagnosis that the Strong Minds program will cover.
Are we at least having a pre-conversation with the customer or the client
Yes, they are.
prior to?
Yes, they are. They're not just sending them cold.
Okay, I worried about that a little
No.
bit.
Absolutely, and I completely.
We may freak people out
Yeah.
if we're cold call.
Absolutely, no, we are not cold calling at all. The providers are letting them know.
Okay,
we're
that they're
gonna send
making
you to a
that referral for
Yeah.
services.
Have we thought about doing like a Facebook post at all, or?
We are, that was going out this week because the tech was here not the tech, the council was here today. So, yep, that is going out this week.
So when did the program officially get up and running?
Last week was gonna be our official day. We had some issues with some referrals that didn't end up coming through. So we had 4 referrals pending. Some things occurred that are outside Cohesive's control and the hospital's control from the referral source.
So is it, we fixed that issue and we're up and running?
We're having to get referrals from somewhere else. We can discuss it
Okay.
off record, you know.
Okay.
I don't want to expose who it was.
So do we have referrals actually in process now?
We have 2, one for sure that was pending, but they have, it's a Medicare-only program, and it is not, they are not Medicare-only, they're Medicare Managed Care.
Okay.
So we're having to address that with the provider. But we do have another one coming in the works currently.
Have we thought about utilizing like the radio as well to like have you go to the radio
Yep.
station?
I would prefer either Michael that has started many programs for Cohesive
Yeah.
and or our counselor, which is Brittany Nelms, to talk about it a little bit more because she's already doing it at Carnegie and she's going to be doing it here. And he's open, this will be his 4th program or 3rd or 4th program that he's open with Cohesive.
Cool.
So I think one of them talking about the program a little bit more would be more beneficial with me.
So what about those folks that are leaving swing beds and going back into the home? Are we having those conversations and making those referrals?
Yes, sir. Yep. And they can, and actually, I was talking with Cindy and Michael, and they said the counselor can actually meet with them before they're even discharged to kind of let them know what the program's about. So there is a process for that, yes.
Because that may be a good avenue.
That's great,
source of,
that's what they get a lot of them from at one of our other facilities.
especially if they've been in swing bed and they're going home, especially going home to
Yeah,
their.
and I mean, people that are just going home to sit there by themselves,
Yeah.
how do you get something to go do, a socialization with other, elderly patients?
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Okay. Moving on to item number 9, discussion possible action to approve the movement of the lab department from the adjunct building to the hospital to the existing OR rooms.
Yes, so, our lab building, as y'all all know, is in a double-wide, previous clinic. It's been there for several years. It needs some updates, or we can move it into the facility. The OR is currently not being utilized. The square footage would have to be grandfathered in because we've never decommissioned it as an OR. Does it meet current regulations for square footage for an OR? No. Could we utilize it for our lab? Yes, we could. It would bring them back in the facility. First off, personal thought of that, safety, security for the lab. That building does need some work done to it, and we have several $100,000 pieces of equipment in there that is in our most vulnerable building we have. But we want y'all's approval before we start the process of going to the state, doing a functional plan to move them from their current location into the ORs. With that being said, we wanted to bring it to y'all because you'll never be able to open those ORs ever back up if we do this. So that's a board decision. We wanted to bring that as as the management group to y'all to make that decision.
Was the OR one of the rooms that were flooded?
That's OR2, we are not gonna utilize that room.
Okay.
Yep. And hopefully, I will tell you, off subject, talked to the architect, they have received several calls, questions, and requests for bid packages from the city. We've had one here at our facility, but they've received several from the update from him.
So when they come in and they survey and they say that you have to do a bunch of updates to the OR room to make it functionable for a lab,
Mhm.
has anybody looked at possibly the cost differential?
We
About
have,
that time
we
when it
wanted to
says
do this before
we need
our
X amount
functional
of
plan.
dollars for this repair
Mhm.
and upgrade versus this amount for the building upgrade?
So the building code upgrade will be electrical, and we will have to get engineers or electricians mainly involved in that, licensed electricians, licensed plumbers to get that taken care of. Looking at the 2022 facility guidelines for construction, literally for lab, it's dedicated power and dedicated hard internet lines. That's literally, and a hand washing station, which right outside the OR, there's 2 big massive sinks that'll be with the eye wash. So looking at that, there's not a whole lot, but we would have to, for the electrical, get it upgraded compared to where it's at. Because currently, it is rated to be an OR currently. So the power is there. We just have to change it from the twist-in secured plugs to the ground fault, GFI, in the walls, so. And the plumbing will be a borehole through the floor, hook the plumbing and the water up that way into a single drain, so.
Is there, I mean, taking this away, is there ever the thought that we may ever want or be able to utilize an OR again?
I mean, again, that's a discussion.
I'm gonna say no on
It
I
is
know y'all
a very
did.
small square footage room. With that being said, it will not meet current standards at all when you look at square footage to do any procedures. Being grandfathered in, we could, we could do cataracts, we could do pain, we could do that stuff, but having those providers coming in here and feeling comfortable in a smaller room is gonna probably be hard to do. Don't wanna take it off the table, don't wanna say it couldn't happen, but that's a decision the board has to make, and
When's the
that. Yeah,
last
because
time
they
we
sure did
used
it before.
When's the last time we used this at OR?
2018. 2018, early 2019.
I was gonna say, I think we had a couple procedures in early 2019.
Yeah, 2018, 2019. Cohesive came in 2018 and 2019. I think there was a few procedures. Don't know, I think were they cataracts and pain? I can't
Yeah,
remember.
they were the semi stuff.
Even though we're not doing surgery in there, is there any disadvantage square footage wise on the cost report that it's gonna, that taking that out would do? I mean, I know
No.
it has to be attached to a charge, but
It-
still there is a square footage
There is
component.
square footage, so we're gonna continue to use the current lab space as med-surg storage. It's right around 1,100 square feet for that area. So we're gonna continue to use it for med-surg storage, so we're not losing the utilization of that square footage. But yes, there would be an impact if we completely just knock the building down, 100%.
So if you're using that for, what about the things that need to be fixed? Is it just associated with the lab, or would it affect the med search storage?
Just the lab.
So it wouldn't affect anything that we would, whatever the
No.
fixes that need to happen?
No.
Well, I personally don't want to be the one that votes to kill that, where it never can come back.
I've got that same thought, Cheryl.
So are you gonna keep the outpatient lab where it's located? In
No.
that room?
And
Would you-
the draw room, yes,
Yeah.
the draw room will stay where it's at.
Okay.
Yep. We're just literally bringing all the equipment from that building into there.
So by converting OR one and not doing anything with OR two, would that still allow the capabilities of having an OR at some point if we so
For
choose?
that single room, but the airflow in that single room is not good for multiple procedures. It's good for scopes, it's not good for, cataracts, pain management, it's not a great positive pressure in that room. Or it wasn't when I was there previously, I should say. Unless they upgraded the air conditioner, which I don't think we've had, then it's only good for, scopes.
So we wouldn't necessarily shut that ability down by doing this, I mean, because that room would still be
That single
grandfathered
room would
in,
still
we
be
just
able-
need to upgrade
Yeah.
material.
Well, I would say, why don't we get this roof fixed, then you can use that number 2 for this lab. If you just have to move it in there instead of fixing the lab itself.
That would decrease our square footage to where it wouldn't, because of where that area is constructed. And y'all are more than happy to come out there and I'll show y'all how the flow, it's not enough square footage where that one area would be to put the director, to put the front desk lady compared to what we're gonna have by utilizing the whole hall, the sterile supply room, the 2 bathrooms, and the big OR and all of that hallway. Because that's probably 800 square feet compared to probably right around 1,500.
What are we looking at as far as cost repairing the repairs of where we're currently utilizing the lab?
It's a 25-year-old building, so we'd have to buy a new building.
Not only is it a 25-year-old building, it's a 25-year-old temporary building.
Correct. It's a mobile home. It's a 25-year-old mobile home. You're looking at a brand new one. And then wiring, we talked about the annex, moving to the annex, but you're looking at updating all the wiring from where we were gonna put possibly the clinic. It has to be completely separated wiring because it's gotta be on its own generator, the purchase of over $100,000 in electrical to move it to the annex.
So what's wrong with the current building? What specifically is wrong with it?
The floor is sagging. The floor is breaking. When I say breaking, it's sagging, it's spongy. There's condensation underneath the building every time because of just water, pure water from the air conditioners. The trimming on all the sides. The roof is sagging on the corners. Let me see, what else? The plumbing is fine because we keep patching the plumbing, of course. The windows, of course, leak, just everything that you get with a travel trailer.
So I'm just asking, how
Mhm.
would that be safe if it's getting to that point, how would that be safe as we're moving forward to store anything in there with employees coming in and out? If you've got a sagging floor, what's the potential of somebody getting hurt as opposed to, I mean, I get the lab when we have the equipment, but I'm also thinking about the employees. How would that be safe with regard to the employees?
That would be, I mean, you bring up a great point.
Yeah,
The traffic, the foot traffic from Med-Surg supply, so when I say supplies, talking extra IV poles, the foot traffic would be way less than the lab is. And plus the weight.
Which worries me more,
Uh,
because, at least if you're in and out of there every day,
know
you
it's-
notice the things,
yeah.
and but then if you're not in and
Yeah.
out of there every day, next thing you know, you're through the floor.
Well, and if you have potential leakage areas, what type of equipment are you gonna store there that's not potentially gonna get damaged by water as well?
The roof was repaired in 2019. The roof on the building is good. It's sagging, but the
But didn't
actual
you just say that the
shingles.
windows were leaking and that there
Well,
was a corner?
leaking leaking dirt.
And
And
then you've got the condensation from the base. which-
underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
in the
basically,
corners,
it's probably
yeah.
the board is swelling.
Yes, correct. Around all the base of it and around in the bottom corners of all the caps.
I think you're gonna eventually lose that anyway.
Eventually we are.
Yeah, and so.
Eventually we are.
would lose that square footage unless we come up with a different solution anyway at some point.
I'm surprised somebody's not ran into it myself. I mean, really.
It was a when they put it there, it was kind of weird. I'm like, why are we, okay, yeah, I don't know.
I hate that building.
And it was a clinic, I think Dr. Lester
Dr.
worked out of
Lester,
it,
I
yep,
went to,
he worked
yes.
out of it, Dr. Johnson worked out of
So,
it.
no, Johnson worked out. of
Yep,
it.
so it was a clinic and then it become a lab. And it's had heavy machines on it.
No, it's just kind of there.
Yep,
So if it is currently hit by a windstorm, hailstorm, tornado,
mhm,
are we covered insurance purposes?
Yes, sir.
For everything inside of it?
Yes, sir.
Contents?
yes, sir. And that's on your thing to update tonight.
I did just get a thunderstorm watch.
Yes, I
Yeah,
did too. I did too. Robin is saying, you know, we essentially, to be able to keep it on the cost report, we gotta at least put a bed in there for med-surg storage is what we're having to do. It's not like we're gonna store ventilators in there, multiple IV poles, like again, like I said, not a whole lot of staff going, and the staff that'll be going in to get that supplies will be plant ops most of the time. It won't be the nurses walking in and
So
out.
we're gonna let Mark fall through?
Yes,
Okay.
we are. We're gonna let Mark fall through.
I'd almost want time to think through this, and I'd like to see the other room and stuff like that. too.
Absolutely. Anytime y'all wanna come out, please. I mean, y'all are more than welcome to come visit it and we'll show it to you. 100%.
I just think I need time to process this specific thing for myself.
When they did the COVID shots, that was in an OR room. Which room was that?
I wasn't there, so I don't know.
Number one?
One.
There was
Okay.
one, okay.
It was.
So it was the big one?
It
Okay.
was.
Okay.
And that's not very big.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought it was big.
Yep. It's not very big.
I mean, whatever decision we make affects the future regardless.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean.
You know, the payment systems are not going to incentivize surgery at places like Mangum going forward. They haven't in years.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Okay,
the
so there-
newer models, even different and newer than critical access. If critical access were to go away, we'd probably have to get in one of that new
Yes,
emergency,
the
whatever.
emergency rural
They're
hospital.
not gonna let you do surgery.
They're all
No.
looking for
Right.
centers of
Right.
excellence when
Right.
they
They want
the
us
insurance
all-
pay. It has to be for a center that's
Yeah.
considered excellent in whatever surgery you're doing.
So we're not
But
gonna
what
turn back
Medicare really
into-
wants is for all of us to go to Oklahoma City if we need a surgery or just even be an inpatient.
Correct.
Am I right about
Yep.
that?
And it was the surgery that kind of got us in trouble in the past with the
Uh-huh.
cost report.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You're
Because
right.
it will affect your cost report. Surgery will.
Because that, I mean, I think that most of the Medicare
Care debt.
debt
Mhm.
was from 2017 and before was surgery.
Yep.
Does it just not pay the same?
It does pay the same. It's just when you do too much of it, Medicare's not gonna let you make a ton of money on them. So they're gonna hit you on your outpatient reimbursement really hard.
And that's what happened. I
Yep.
mean,
And
because if
then-
you look at those old ones, I mean, there'd be some years where the hospital actually technically made money, but then the surgery
Yeah.
lost a lot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know one year we paid 3.5 million back. So,
And most of that was because of the surgery.
and yeah, probably 95% of that was because of surgery.
So I feel hesitation in your voice on,
The lab needs to come in. It does. I think it's number one, safety for the staff going back and forth from the ER all day, all night, at night mainly. The safety of pulling those machines off that floor. I don't think it's a bad idea if the board, of course, I wanted y'all to understand, once you do this, you cannot do surgery in that room ever again. It's gone. That's the only hesitation. I don't really have any hesitation. It's just, I don't know.
I don't think within the next 5 years, we're gonna be
Doing surgery.
instituting surgery.
No.
well, my concern isn't the next 5 years.
Yeah.
My concern's 25 years later.
Yes.
Much
Well, we
like
do
babies,
20
I don't think it's ever coming back.
Yeah. If that's the case, we need to open an OR suite, like she's saying, to be a center of excellence.
And so that would be, I think, in theory, the long-term goal is
Yeah.
to go and actually build
Yeah, build a single
New
suite and let you do your thing.
surgery suite.
Yeah.
And have an independent provider who wants to. help
Correct.
With
That-
that, and already have the reputation
Yeah.
and the patients established,
Yep.
is probably the only way you're gonna get that done.
Right.
So to do this, we're gonna have to build a whole new facility anyways to do surgery ever again.
Well, a suite, you don't have to do a whole new facility as long as it's attached to the hospital by a breezeway,
We had talked
Yeah.
about potentially,
right to the east.
yeah,
Could have somebody set up like a same-day
Yeah.
colonoscopy suite where they
Yeah.
just kinda come in and out,
Yep.
and they're doing, a 15,
Yeah.
20-minute procedure, but it's gonna have to be somebody
Okay,
that's
so
established.
you could never take our current operating room and turn it into that, right?
Right.
Okay.
You could currently,
If you don't do this, but
If you don't do this.
Then no.
yes.
You would still
But in,
require
say,
the
5 to
separate.
10 years, you won't, no, it won't pass. 5 years from now, it will not pass. If you say, what about in 5 years, are we gonna be doing surgery in our OR suite? No. The
In 2
regulations
years'
probably will
time,
not allow
Is there
it.
any likelihood?
2 years?
In 2 years, are we gonna ever come to this and say, man,
I can't answer that. I can't answer that.
I just think the costs are too high that, I just
You-
think
you-
that era has come and gone.
Yeah.
you'd have to contract with a third-party surgeon, basically, or surgery group to
Yep.
make it work. But the problem is that they wanna make money, but we have to like,
not make money?
but, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so because of that balancing act, they're gonna be handcuffed over how much money they can make.
Yeah.
Because if they make too much money, then we pay a lot of money. And so,
It's a hard deal to balance. It really is.
So, but Cohesive is saying, we have no use for this room.
Currently, yes, that's what we're saying. And if something happens and we run into a bunch of surgeons that wanna do surgery and we wanna break ground and build the OR suite, guess what? We can do that. That would be, again, that would be the best outcome, is to build an OR suite if that's ever on the table to do surgery at Mangum again.
also, I think it would just flow, like, as far as flow of patients would be better if you.
Oh, yeah.
Built somewhere else, because what those are is at now, it's just like in the middle of everything.
It is.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is it the same hallway that you go to the cafeteria too?
Yep,
Yes.
sure is.
Yeah, everything just-
Absolutely, sure is.
Depending on which door.
Yep, you walk a patient right by that hallway, absolutely.
So, it doesn't flow right anyway. I think even when Kevin Owens was running it, I think his ultimate goal was to eventually
Build an OR.
build an OR suite.
Yep.
I mean, even that was always like, if it's gonna
The
do
whole
surgery.
flow was a
that's-
little backwards for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because
For
even though
today.
they used it, it wasn't ideal.
Mm-mm. We made it work, but it was a lot of work to make it work.
If you want to table it,
Yeah,
so
we
you
can
like,
table it.
walk through
I
it.
mean, if somebody, I'm not gonna make a motion, but if somebody wants to make a motion, I'm just not.
I mean, I don't really see it coming back. I think it's kind of like when they used to deliver babies. They haven't done that
Nope.
in years, and it's
Mm-mm.
not gonna happen. I don't think surgery is gonna happen without.
And it had nothing to do
Doing
with the
that.
room. It's providers.
Right.
Yep.
And the liabilities.
And
associated
insurance.
with it.
Anesthesia.
Yep.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, I would make the motion that we approve 9 and moving the lab into the facility in OR 1
Okay,
as it stands right now.
all right.
I'll second it.
Call for a vote.
Lively,
No.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
No.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Wow.
No pressure.
I'm sitting here in between these two going, I think there needs to be more information here.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm gonna
what's
go
what's
no
the-
today.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not close to the idea, so please don't take it as me
No,
close
no.
to the idea, but I would like to see more like,
I'm still
hey,
gonna work
this is
on
what,
information for y'all.
I
this
just
is
wanna
what the
process.
cost.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're
So-
given this information today, I have to vote no.
Could motion to table it.
Well, I actually thought there might be 3 yeses, and my no wouldn't have been that big of a deal, I'll just be quite honest.
Again, I'm gonna continue to work forward on the functional narrative. work with some other people, get some quotes together for electrical
Now, we
and
may get a
plumbing.
work case this week because somebody falls through the floor, just y'all three know.
Well, but I don't think that would have changed anyway, because y'all were just gonna involve the state at this point,
Just
right?
so y'all know.
That's the first step.
Yeah.
They've got to approve us moving it before any work starts.
We
We
have
can't
an
start
insurance
plumbing or
quote in
electrical or
place.
anything until the state says we grant you
We're
access to do
comfortable
this.
with
But I'm gonna continue to move forward with that, and if y'all tell me no next month, I'm gonna continue to move forward.
Is somebody,
Yeah,
are you gonna be there Thursday?
Uh-huh, absolutely.
Can I come up and just
You
see what you're
absolutely can.
talking about?
Yep.
I don't know that part of the hospital.
No, you absolutely can, anytime, yep. All right, Carson, 10.
Oh, sorry, I'm still stuck on.
I'm like, hello.
Oh. Yeah.
This is a no-brainer, but we have
Item
to
number
bring it.
10, impossible action, approve a quote from Webestront
Webstront, yep.
Global Industries and Granger to purchase a new ice machine for patient care hallway.
So we got 3 quotes from 3 different vendors. Manitoc is the top brand. As you can tell, there's the Webstront, which is $52.77. The Global Industries, which is $52.99. No difference in the product, and same thing with Granger. Well, we have to bring it to y'all because it's over a $5,000 purchase. The ice machine in the patient hallway broke not the compressor, but the gearbox at the top started leaking oil, and once that happens, it gets in the ice, we can't use it anymore. So we had to take it out of service. We do have one in the cafeteria, but the nursing staff has to walk back and forth. This is for the floor.
Which one do you want?
It's the same thing. So Webstront would be the best price. They're all the same. They're all the same product.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve Webestront.
I'll second it.
Call for a vote, please.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Moving on to item number 11, discussion and possible action to approve the Philadelphia insurance quote for the hospital and attached buildings insurance.
This is a renewal. Philadelphia is the only one that will provide the quote for the facility. This is your equipment you were talking about, Carson.
Now, is this for the equipment or the building?
The building is carried by the city.
Oh, okay.
The building is carried by the city.
Okay.
This is ours. And this is business revenue if we ever lose the lab due to a tornado.
Well, that's a jump.
It is, but we pay it out over the year. It's not a one-time payment. It's a nine monthly installments. It's a down payment of, was it 900? I think it was 900, down payment of 900 and then monthly installments after that.
It's almost like a 20% increase.
25. 25. And that's the national standard. And I think our wind and hail for the building went up to a $100,000 deductible. And that's before our claim is even finalized on the roof currently. So, and they were the only company that would provide a quote for us for this.
Yep.
I'd make a motion to approve it.
I will second that motion if we can call for a vote.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to item number 12, discussion and possible action to approve product service agreement between Lambton Welding providing bulk oxygen to Mangum Regional Medical Center.
Okay, this is just so we currently have Lambton. Lambton put in their tank and we signed a 10-year agreement with them. I sent y'all an extra attachment to y'all's emails with pricing. We didn't share that because that is for cohesive, and from what I gather from the agreements, it's a 10-year lock-in. So previously, they've been, and they can, go up 5% every year, and they've been going up. So when y'all initially signed the agreement in 2019, 2020, it was 90 cents a cubic foot of liquid oxygen. It's currently at what I sent y'all, I think it's $1.38. So, and it continues the lease on the tank of 600, I'd have to pull my other stuff up. $653 a month.
And I'm sorry, I feel like I'm having deja vu.
Uh-huh.
Did we not vote for something last time?
That was Tecumseh Oxygen. It's a DME company. Yes, it does. They're not providing the oxygen. Lambton provides our
Okay.
oxygen. That's just their name.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve.
I'll second it.
We can call for a vote at this time.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Okay, so who read the 39 pages of fun? My gosh, I know Corey did, I know I did. Wow, bunch of language in there. This is for the 5310 grant program for our van that we could get. This, we're getting closer. This has to be returned to them by the 25th, and then hopefully our.
We skipped 13.
Oh, I'm sorry, my fault. What was
Moving on to
13?
item number 13, discussion of possible action to approve HIPAA privacy officer.
Oh.
Jessica
Just
Pineda
excited.
Yeah, sorry, Carson.
I thought you
in
were,
replacing Jennifer Dreyer.
thought there was something
Well,
really
I thought I
good.
Nope,
missed something.
my
I
fault.
was like, why was there 39 pages about Jessica Pineda?
That's my fault. So,
Oh, I met Jessica, no, I'm just playing.
Jennifer Dreyer, it did not leave the facility, she's still AP.
But with compliance, since Jessica Panetta's taken the position of HIM, we have to elect her as the HIPAA privacy officer. So that's why we're having to bring her to y'all.
I make a motion that we do that.
I'll second.
If we could call for a vote at this time.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Jessica and privacy, yes.
Webb.
Yes.
She's actually doing really good.
No, I know she
She is
is.
doing really good.
I love her, but I have to give
know.
her a hard time.
No.
Okay, motion carries. Moving on to moving on to item number 14, discussion possible action to approve the Oklahoma Transportation Agency,
Yeah.
EN IMSA 2512, section 3510 grant program, providing funds to purchase.
So I've already talked about what this is. This is for our large van that we purchase. They give us an 85% reimbursement. With this being signed, we're getting closer to them saying, okay, you can go order your van. We're not there yet, but this is the next step before the award letter comes out.
So what happens with the other van that we just leased from?
It goes back to
Cohesive?
Cohesive.
We just, it's on a month-to-month.
Yep, it's on technically a month-to-month. It's a 12-month, but we can cancel it at any time. Yep.
Corey, do you have any comments or concerns with this?
Other than for a government contract, they had a lot of typos in it with. Missed no traffic even once,
It's probably all the cuts.
but, yeah.
Yeah,
They cut the
Stupid AI.
proofreaders.
yeah, AI typed it to somebody talking.
Or it
Absolutely.
wasn't AI and that's why there's all these errors.
But those are kind of form deals, so you're just gonna have to take them as they're presented.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve.
I'll second it.
We could call for a vote.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Okay, moving on to item number 15. Is there anything on item number 15?
I don't think so.
I don't see anything.
No.
Okay. Any staff or board remarks?
I do have like just a handful of things. There's some legislation that's going through that affects our hospitals. Is really three. I don't know if all three of them get passed, but I think two will. One of them will actually address an issue that we've had with some of our vendors. Like, for example, even tonight, there was one vendor that did not want their quote made public. It wasn't uploaded. Well, this actually addressed that. It does allow certain information with entities contracting with rural hospitals to have their particular documents exempt from the Open Meetings Act and the Open Records Act. So that's probably going to pass. I don't want to read the whole thing. It's not that long, but it's basically anything that's related to marketing plans, financial statements, trade secrets, research concepts, methods or products, or any other proprietary information submitted to or compiled by us or basically anybody we contract with. So that will, if passed, that clarifies the question where a lot of that information that does have the proprietary interest and stuff like that would have to, instead of being placed on Munico like it is, it'd be handled like we did the contract here. The second interesting kind of bill that's going out there, it addresses, I don't think it's gonna pass, but it deals with rural hospital licensing that's owned by public trust. And that doesn't apply to us really because we have the license, but basically it does require the board members to, within 90 days of its passage, to go to a board education seminar, basically. So that's the only reason I'm tracking that one, but I don't think that's gonna be passed because of how it's written. It's been getting kicked back and forth. And then the third one is Oklahoma is trying to put together a rural hospital funding assistance grant program that's gonna go through the Department of Health to help provide grants to rural facilities. So that one I think will pass.
Do you have a number on that?
Which one?
The last one.
House Bill 2754.
2754.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Call your congressman.
Well, I've got to talk to the rep about something anyway, so.
So those popped up on my, I thought I'd pass those along.
No, I really appreciate that.
Those are the only three that I saw that's related to rural hospitals.
Do you have the numbers on the other two?
House Bill 1738,
Was that the first one or the second?
that's one of them.
Oh, okay.
And then, couldn't get the other one. Did I say House Bill 1738?
Yes,
Yes.
I
sir.
just said that, okay.
Was that 1738, was that the send us to school, or is that the?
That's House Bill 2295 is send you to school. So that's the three.
That's kind of,
But I don't think that one's gonna pass because it's been
yeah, you got Adrian looking.
kicked back and forth. So that's the three.
Okay. Thank you.
It's not imminent.
No.
It's like it's about an hour away.
Yeah, she's got to drop the Woodward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could keep talking. Start reading Moby Dick. Because it's a long book.
I'm definitely leaving. Hey, more about it.
Where the green eggs stand.
That's more of my style.
That's all I have.
Okay. Any new business? Okay, moving on. I'd like to make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second that.
Lively,
Yes.
Ford,
Yes.
Van Zant,
Yes.
Hopper,
Yes.
Webb.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, do you need, Steve, do you want in the minutes people that were on the meeting on the phone?
Yes.
Okay, Cindy Tillman, Chi, and Robin Woodward, and Dennis Boyd.
Looks
Thank
like
y'all,
you
ladies.
can miss it. There's one at North, but it'll be already gone by the time you get there, it looks like.
Yeah, you better run out of here.
All right, Carson, ready?
No, I was
Try
gonna
fast.
race out.
This is Limpton. Oh, don't forget, I'll sign your,
Go somewhere for.
No, this says
These
initials,
really?
you just want initials, you
Yeah,
want
yeah,
signature.
well, actually, took that picture, went to my sister.
No, my signature just looks like initials to me.
you gotta write better than that.
And there, my sister and I went to Broken
Dude,
Bow.
my signature is my signature.
It was light.
That's good.
Oh,
It's
okay.
because they were having the family reception.
More like
What's, you got a better pen?
Yeah.
You want your signature?
But
Because I'm gonna be
closer
here
than
all
next.
night, he'll let me, you stay here.
Well, that
No,
was,
and,
that was.
yeah, you gotta notarize it.
Oh,
Not a whole
You gotta
lot of
notarize
real
this.
I see.
This is the,
That's one way to shorten your guest list,
Tomorrow.
really.
Last list I went today.
And Will,
I'm gonna try to do that, so Carson,
crazy
sign
all
your
week
name here.
otherwise, isn't it?
Yes.
Tax ID number. He's gotta notarize this one.
So are you fixing to have to run this show? No. Oh, okay, you're just helping. No,
There's that one. Hold on, slow down, there's a bunch of it. That one.
Did you sit up here in the front?
Being considered for sainthood.
See ya, thank you. Okay, this one is saying we have
just so you know, there's no conflict of interest, or we're not working with anybody else. And I'll write none, or you can write none right there.
See them eggs, they're gonna get you one way or the other.
That one's a notary too.
So long.
Is it? No, it's not.
Yes,
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Hush. Hush. Okay, and this is another one that says statutory certification, authorize the contractor to go out and get bids and facts of acquisitioning. We're not in collusion with any company.
Oh, I am.
Okay.
And if anybody comes to you
This is
about,
Philadelphia?
says something about, I said for a bid at the hospital about a roofing company,
What are you talking about? You didn't say that. Oh.
I'm saying if somebody comes to you and says, I've already talked to Carson about roofing, no, they haven't.
Oh. I don't know who you're talking about.
Because somebody already, some roofer has my cell phone number about the dang roof at the hospital.
Oh, is that, those one people?
Yes.
This is the EVS policy manual.
Okay.
This is Jessica. Right there. And then this is life safety policy manual. Sir,
Yeah, Jessica's prior, she just had a loud laugh.
she's very loud.
But she's awesome.
Okay, that's it.